Hi everyone, and welcome back to Nature Play Lifestyle. My name is Jenny, and on this channel you will find tips, tricks, and tools to help support you in connecting children to the natural world. If that is something you are interested in learning more about, please feel free to subscribe. And then if you like this video, give it a thumbs up so then other people and YouTube knows that this is something that they want to recommend to other people to see. I have been really thinking a lot about how I guide children outdoors and how I share my appreciation for the natural world with children. I've been thinking about mindfulness tools that I use outside and just how I help children ground and find their place in the natural world. I think that sometimes I forget how important it is for us to share that with children, to share looking closely at nature, to share our own words that we want to share about nature and like what we see that is beautiful to us. And the reason why we might want to do this, and the reason why I do this, is because I see that when I start to use that and start to share my appreciation, my gratitude, my overall like sense of solace for the natural world, I notice that children start to notice that too and start talking about their relationship with nature and what they think is beautiful in nature. In this age group, they are learning so much about just how things work and how things are connected. So if we can share with them like how to look closer at the natural world, you might notice like a lot of changes in your children that you care for. So that's the reason why I think this is such a valuable thing to teach children and something that I really enjoy doing with my students in my class. So before I even started grounding in setting up mindfulness activities and sharing appreciation for nature with kids, I really took some time to take some notes. And if you know me, you know that I am a big note taker and I'm a big journaler and a reflective type of teacher. I like to really hone in on what I want to create and how I want to create it. So I love writing and I love journaling and really getting into my why behind teaching. So what I did was, I oftentimes do this, where I reflect on what I find beautiful in the natural world and how I might want to support that in my class space. So some of the things I found out when I journaled was that I love looking up at nature, and I love looking at the branches, and I love looking down low at the natural world. I think that that's something that we oftentimes forget when we are teaching, is that we are maybe like looking straight ahead and looking at the things on our sides, but looking up and changing your perspective is something I just really enjoy doing. So that was one of the things I wrote down in my list. I also wanted to think about the colors of the natural world and how the sun shines through different leaves and bring this like beautiful light out. I live in Seattle, so right now it is actually raining here, and I oftentimes forget how much I find beauty in those little things, especially since it's a rainy day. So when it is sunny, I just like love it. And when it comes to the rain, I want to embrace the rain as well. So the noises that I hear from the natural world, I find appreciation, and just like, I just love listening to the pitter patters of the droplets of water falling to the earth. So those are the reasons that I love nature and what I find appreciation behind nature for me. And then I think about how I want to hone that skill in with the kids that I care for, and how I want to help them to develop their own appreciation. It doesn't have to be the same as mine. All of our beauty in the natural world is different. What I find beautiful might be different than what you find beautiful. And so I want to honor that with the kids too. Like, I don't want to be like, isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that beautiful? Don't you think that's awesome? What I think is awesome. I really want them to find what they think is awesome, what they are amazed by, and what lights them up. So some of the ways that I do this are, I look really closely at the natural world with kids. So this is something I love to do on nature walks, where we are walking together and I just touch different materials. And I might say things out loud like, oh my gosh, this is so soft. Or wow, I wonder how all of this moss climbed up this whole tree. And I might just sit there for a minute and just really just notice and take it in. us modeling that is going to help them to start modeling that in themselves and start them to look closely at nature and really just sit with it. Sometimes I think I want to rush through stuff and be like, this is beautiful, this is beautiful, this is beautiful. But when I find my quiet, I notice the kids also find their quiet. So that is my thing that I like to do, is just look at stuff and then really just stay quiet and just appreciate and model what appreciation looks like. The other thing I like to do is something called nature cinema, and this is by far one of my favorite things to do with young kids. And you can do this basically anywhere. I have done this in the classroom, I have done this on a nature walk, I have done this in an indoor classroom. And what nature cinema is it's when you sit quietly in the natural world and you watch nature, much like what you would do if you went to a theater. You just sit back and watch nature. Claire Warden was the teacher that shared this with me. She's a teacher in Scotland, so if you're ever looking for like resources on how to just hone in on your skill of being an outdoor teacher, highly recommend her. Like, she has so much knowledge, and I am just like geek out over her every day of the week. So that would be what I do with the kids, is just sit and listen to nature. And sometimes we'll do this where we'll do it all together and we'll find a spot and we'll be like, okay, it's nature cinema time. Like, let's all gather around and let's find a spot to sit and watch our natural world. While other times we might do this in our class space and call it magic spots, and the children will find a spot in the class space and just watch nature on their own. So there's different ways of handling nature cinema. You can do it as a group or magic spots with each child finding their own space. But the goal is for everybody to find quiet and to start to just watch nature. And oftentimes some of the kids want to talk and chitter-chatter, but all that I do is I just like go, 1 second, or share that after. Or I might say like, oh, like, it sounds like you really are interested in that. You can share that right after. Like, hold your thought. That's another thing I'll do, is just say, hold your thought. And then they can still watch nature, I have their thought held, and they're able to explore the natural world. So nature cinema is definitely one of my favorite go-to activities when we're outdoors. Another activity I really enjoy is when we can go to the same spot over and over again and really start noticing the differences and the changes in that one spot. This is so critical because if you visit the same spot over and over again, the children are going to notice slight differences. Like, if you visited a tree in the fall and you visit it maybe every week or every other week, the children are going to notice like the leaves might be changing color. Some of the leaves are falling off the tree. And then when you visit in the winter time, what happens to the tree? The tree might lose all of their leaves. And then in the springtime, you might start to see those little buds start opening up, right? So going to the same spot over and over again is something I really cherish with the kids. And it's interesting how when you do that, like, they really start to notice and start to describe those changes. And then me as a teacher, I have to show up, right? I can't just expect children to share their appreciation and share their thoughts about the natural world and gain quiet in the natural world and find solace in nature. I have to model that, and I have to be there showing up for them and really modeling how to be quiet in the natural world, how to find quiet, or how to like appreciate nature. So one of the things I oftentimes find myself doing is going to nature on my own and really looking at nature for myself and see what I notice about nature. And it's really interesting to do this with like other adults because like they look at you cry. They're like, why are you looking so closely at that moss? Like, we're on a nature walk, Jen, like, really? But when I do that, I can start to see again why I appreciate nature and what I want to share with the children in my classroom. So those are just a few things that I'll do outside to help with mindfulness outdoors and share appreciation for nature. I think that it's just valuable for us to find our why and share that why with the kids, and then also gift them with different ways that they can start to notice and enjoy nature as much as we might. So if you like this video, again, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel so then I know that this is something you're interested in. And if you want to see more videos like this, please, please, please leave a comment below so I know that you're interested in me creating more of these types of sit-down chats with you all. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and know that I am sending so much light to you and so much gratitude for you all being here and just taking the time for yourself. So let's take one last minute in the natural world where I'm at, and I'll see you all later. Bye.